Yo, welcome back to the channel, my crypto Anubis community. Ladies and gentlemen, it is about time that we do an update on Injective. This is definitely well overdue because the last time we talked about this thing, it blew up like crazy, guys, hitting brand new all-time highs. So today, we're going to be talking about the price action. We're going to be diving down into the charts, and we're just going to be talking about what is currently happening, right? So without further ado, make sure you smash up that like button to help this video get out to the public. Make sure you guys smash up the subscribe button because we are going to be continuing to talk about the hot cryptos that I am invested in, especially going into our next bull run, right? So if we take a look here, you guys can see that Injective currently sitting around, say, $33. Insane, right? Absolutely crazy. The market cap sitting close to about 2.9 billion. And you guys, we hit that rank of number 26. We stated before in a previous video that there's a possibility that Injective could literally get into like the top 20 or even the top 10. And so far, it's absolutely been killing it, right? So I imagine that we're having a pullback right now simply because of Bitcoin, right? But if we take a look here, you guys can clearly see that the charts absolutely look incredible. Take a look over the previous month, and you guys can see that this thing has just been hovering around 42. Obviously, we're having some kind of pullback, right? We hit price discovery, which means we are looking for a brand new all-time high. And you guys can see right now, obviously, we technically do still have higher lows. We'll talk more about that here in just a few moments. But you guys will clearly see that we're looking for some kind of support. And the question is are we going to be able to bounce off the support, hold on strong, and get a reversal to the upside, right? We'll talk more about that here in just a few moments. Let's dive down into the chart. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, if you guys have been paying attention to the channel, then you guys already know that I have previously talked about Injective multiple times. Not only that, I've even updated and showed you guys my position, especially whenever it comes to the Patreon. And I'll tell you guys right now that technically I have a new crypto that I am holding going into the next bull run known as Pendle. So if you guys would like to check out that video, nonetheless, I'm going to be updating my position in the Patreon. So if we take a look here, you guys will clearly see that we have this beautiful ascending triangle that we talked about in a previous video. We stated that once this thing got past like $9.25, $9.50, this massive ascending triangle, you guys, then the rest was history. Well, ladies and gents, we blew up like crazy, right? We hit a little bit of a resistance area, technically around the 17, 15 bucks, right? Around that area, 17 bucks, 15 bucks, right? And then we ran up to all-time highs. We didn't even stop at all-time highs, you guys. We just soared straight past it, right? And you guys would clearly see for Injective that we held on strong, right? We held on very strong, technically staying above the 200 EMA for the longest time, right? Absolutely incredible. And you guys already know we made bank on this project. So the question is are we going to hold the gains as stated, right? So we'll talk more about that here in just a few moments. But if we actually take a look here, you guys will clearly see for Injective that we have higher lows, right? We do have higher lows. So if we actually take a look, we'll go ahead and create a nice ascending support. We're actually going to do it right down here. And you guys will actually see that this ascending support is technically to validate our overall long-term uptrend, right? We had the 200 EMA, we broke below it. Technically, whenever price action breaks below the 200 EMA, it becomes bearish for a certain period of time, right? Or it could be bearish for a good amount of time. But in this case, you guys will see that we have definitely broken below it, and now we're currently looking for some support area. So where are we going to hold at, right? Well, if we actually dive down into the overall horizontal lines, you guys will see it right here. Boom. We've already hit a little spot. We've already hit a little spot, technically around like, let's just call it like $31, right? That kind of looks pretty flat there, right? You guys can see that there's a little bit of price action going on here. There's resistance. That's weird. 31 bucks. Odd area. So we had 31 bucks, a little bit of resistance there, moved up, come back down, support, right? A little bit of resistance, and boom, took off like crazy. So obviously we are back testing this area right now as we are speaking, right? Obviously we're sitting around 32, 33 bucks, but you guys can see right there, we have already back tested it, right? And it looks like Injective is on its way to a back test it again. And why am I saying this? Well, let me tell you right now. If we take a look, we do have this descending resistance, which is normally considered bearish, okay? Not only that, we're below the 200 EMA on the 4-hour time frame. So, ladies and gentlemen, what will it take in order for us to be bullish again at this current moment? Well, what we need is that we need to break out of this descending resistance for one, the sloping resistance. Not only that, we need to break back above this 200 EMA, the blue squiggly line. And with that being said, you guys, once we get past all that, we're going to be looking for a move above 36 bucks. I'm going to say that is a strong area that we have somehow created as a support, which will now turn into a resistance, right? So you guys can actually see a lot of support there, bounce there, bounce there, bounce there, bounce there, right? And a lot going on here, right? Especially at the 200 EMA. So the price action, you guys, in order for us to be bullish again, in order for us to be looking for some kind of moves back up here to these highs, all the way back up here to say around 43, 44 bucks, then we got to get back above 36. That is what we need, right? That is what we need. Technically, we need a 10% move back up here to the upside, which is definitely possible. But remember, guys, I mean, this thing was literally dirt cheap way down here. We talked about it for some time now, so I'm not surprised that people are taking profits. So if we happen to continue down, which there's a good chance we might, then our next key level area that we really want to hold is going to be this ascending support, this yellow line right here. So you guys, we're going to be looking for another move to the downside if we break below, say, 31 bucks. Now, it does look like there's a little bit of stuff happening here around like 30 bucks, 29 bucks, 28. But we're going to be looking for a move somewhere probably in between, I'm going to call it around 26 to $27. It looks like there's some support right here around this $27 area, right? So if we just kind of, we're going to put it right here, right? That's where we're going to put it. So that's around 26.50. So we can say 26.50 to 27 bucks. Now, no, this is not guaranteed, but I'm telling you that if we break below, then we're going to be looking for support here. What I would like to see for Injective, eventually we're going to have to break out of this descending resistance. But what I would like to see, ladies and gents, is that if we continue down, right? If we continue down here, we're going to be looking for support here and hopefully get that bounce and then eventually get that breakout and then look for a long-term move as in a consolidation, which means we're going to trade sideways and then hopefully get some continuation going into the future. Now, another thing I would like to point out is I do see another long-term descending resistance, and that's very shallow. It is very shallow, as in we have this high here, right? And you guys can actually see it right there, right? So we do technically have another long-term descending resistance right there. So eventually, if we take a look here, you guys can see that these two little lines are going to meet. And technically, that's going into March, right? So technically, we have a few months here to see exactly what happens. But I'm not going to be looking for a, who knows, we could consolidate around this $31 area. If we continue down, as stated, we're looking for this $27 area, right? We need to get some kind of consolidation, right, to validate our long-term uptrend. That is what we need. We need to hold around these areas right here, consolidate, trade sideways, and then get some momentum, right? We need to hold the floor because if we happen to break back below here, you guys, then our next long-term support is all the way back down from this one, and we definitely don't want that to happen, right? So Injective hitting all-time highs, right? Absolutely killing it, looking amazing. So right now we're in a short-term bear trend. I imagine, like I stated, people are just taking profits. I mean, yeah, I mean, this thing blew up like crazy, right? So keep eyes on Injective, you guys. We're going to be talking about this as well going into our next video, right, on Injective. But I want you guys to understand we do have a price prediction, and we're going to be talking about that as well. And if you guys are looking for my my investments that I've been making, check out the Patreon. Link is down below. We'll see you guys in the next video, and